any topic from anyone. Don't be shy.
We're not. And listen, they said, you want to do some questions?
Yes, sir.
And we said, yes, we
with the
do.
MAGA hat. I love it. In camo. Perfect.
Yes, Congresswoman Stefanik, being in the leadership of the Congress, I mean, could you explain why this Congress with the House with a Republican majority has been really so crappy in just like essentially punting on every single issue over the last 2 years? They had a chance to like cut the budget, not fund Ukraine, do all of this kind of stuff, and every single time they have caved when they could have done something. And you've been in the leadership, and I'd just like to know, is there any explanation for this and why this might ever change?
Sure.
It's 2024, and this is where we find ourselves. Less than 2 weeks out from an election, and we're calling a question by a Republican wearing a MAGA hat a good question because he asked, why has nothing been done in this Congress?
What are some of his policies that you like the most?
The border control in Mexico. That's a huge policy.
Do you think they should have passed the bill to build more of the wall?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Trump negotiated that they wouldn't pass it.
Passing in regards to the bill.
The bill to build more of the wall and to increase border security. Trump said don't pass it, so they didn't pass it. That just happened.
Okay. Well, I have mixed views on that.
So you would have wanted the bill to pass?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you disagree with Trump on that then?
Mostly I agree with him, but in this case, I mean, I don't know the exact reasoning behind why he's not wanting to pass it.
He wanted it to be a campaign issue, and so if they pass it and then the border is kind of more regulated, more sealed up, then they wouldn't be able to campaign on it.
Okay, well that makes sense then.
Do you think that's a good reason not to pass a bill, though, so you can campaign on it?
No.
But even though we show up, are you aware of the fact that this has been the most unproductive Congress in the history of the Congress?
Congressman, I'll leave that judgment to
okay,
members
well,
of
I'll
Congress
tell
and the
you it
media.
is, and I've got some numbers for you. So to me, you can show up and still not do a daggone thing. And so it's rich that we have so many opinions to give you and to tell you how to do your job, but seemingly we're not doing ours. Thus far, only 1% of legislation that has been introduced has been passed in this Congress versus the last Congress where it was 6 points higher, and the Congress before that 6 points higher, and the Congress before that 7 points higher. There is no other Congress that has been least productive, and guess what? The last Congress, they could vote remotely, and somehow they figured out how to get it done. So I would just say that we need to be very mindful of when we decide to throw stones, because we may reside in a glass house. Thank you so much for your work.
One thing. I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, one, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One. Anybody sitting in the complex, if you want to come down to the floor and come explain to me one material, meaningful, significant thing the Republican majority has done besides, well, I guess it's not as bad as the Democrats. We have done a number of great things fighting here as Republicans, but they don't mean a thing if we are not willing to sit down at the negotiation table and look at our Democratic colleagues in the Senate and look at the President of the United States and tell him this is how it's going to be done, or you're not going to get your funding. This is how it's going to be done, or don't even think about another dollar for Ukraine. That's my message to my Republican colleagues who, frankly, are getting a little too wound up at that question I asked, what have we done? Because the simplest solution to your frustration about that question being asked is to have an answer. And so to my friend from Pennsylvania, I wonder if he might agree.
Well, I do agree.
In any other country or any other time, this would not be a good question or seen as a good question, but because these people have been brainwashed by Donald Trump, we've lowered the bar this much for them. We know exactly why nothing has happened. And it's because of the inaction and the ridiculous wasting of taxpayers' dollars and time from this Congress. That's what made them the least productive Congress in the history of this country. These people have sat and went on witch hunt after witch hunt after witch hunt to make Donald Trump look better than what he is, which is almost impossible. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it's unbelievable to me that you would have the opportunity to question a member of leadership in your party and you don't ask them, why did you take the rights of women to choose what they want with their body away from them? Why do you support that? It is unbelievable to me that you have the opportunity to question a member of your leadership in a state, North Carolina, where the minimum wage is $7.25, and you didn't ask her, why does she not support the raising of the federal minimum wage so people can have a livable wage? It is unbelievable to me that you didn't question this person, at least who is in membership of the Republican Party, about why does she support Project 2025 and what it would do to school systems in North Carolina and the rest of the states in this country. This is not a good question. It is base. It is a reminder that America has lowered the bar so much for Trump supporters that this is why we see two different elections happening. We have one where Kamala Harris is willing to sit down and answer questions on CNN Town Hall with a bunch of voters in real time on live TV. And Donald Trump can talk about golf player body parts, man body parts, and how great it is. And people are laughing and acting as if this is the norm. Donald Trump can talk about sharks and windmills, and this person is putting out policy after policy, and she's still being criticized. The ball is moving. The goalpost is moving. Unfortunately, both are moving in the wrong direction. I'm Mondell Robinson. Stop the madness.